Very much for the last part of the performance. I really enjoyed. We've had some really special youngest ones, and who were in the youngest categories. They showed some really talented techniques as well. They were really well trained, so really well done. So to begin, I'll make very small comments on Enya. Yeah, she's really young, and because your level at the moment is still at the beginning. So there isn't really that much except just looking at your positions and checking out your sitting position, your height, your level, whether you're parallel the height where you're from your elbow to your body. There's always need to be a bit of distance when you play. So for instance, I'm sure at home you do that check because this is a new environment, and when you came, you just wanted to get done with it, rather than having a check with your seat first and then check your level between your body to the piano. If you're too distant, I would do it again, to just rearrange to get very closer to the piano, because otherwise you're like this when you play. And it's not going to help with your moving, especially when you're going under crossing the thumb and things like that. So just be careful on that, and then when you practice, make sure you can move with your elbow a bit more as well. Because from now, you should be using more wrist to make sure you can relax, not to use the wrist too late. Because sometimes when people get very high advanced playing and they don't know how to use wrist because they've never used wrist, so that's why they became very stiff when they play fast. So it's good to start using wrist from the very beginning. So you are the very good example at this stage. So well done, Thompson. And then Enyo, yeah, you were the youngest, right? So you played Dance by Ho. I thought you were really fearless and really bold, really well done. You just came in and just went for it, and very confident. So completed the performance really nicely, and your finger was really strong as well. So was she your sister, right? Right. Okay. So sister sounds more gentle, whereas brother is more sort of fearlessly strong, which is really good for piano playing. So keep it going. All right. So make sure when you play, your thumb was really flat. So I would recommend at this stage to watch your thumb when you're going under crossing the bridge, that I call it bridge, in the tunnel under. You don't want to play too flat. So making the wrist look like that, like that. And it's got a bump in there, so it's not going to sound smooth. It's like we're talking and then we talk with an accent suddenly. You don't want that. So make sure your wrist is a little bit higher. Sometimes I watch those little ones play, the wrist being a little bit too low. I would always recommend my students to practice the same height from the wrist to the knuckles here. This is a very good position. Check your this and this is all the same parallel height. Making sure that there's no distance in here opening, so you're not trapped, because when you're trapped, what happens is you're going to start shrugging your shoulder. So I heard you in London. You really improved over the summer. I thought your articulation was much more advanced than the last time I heard you. So really well done. On the short note, you were really crispy, and you've memorized really well as well. Your dynamic was really lovely, confident. You were showing some different ranges in the pianos at the very end, so which seems really nice and worked really well. Your thumb was too flat. Again, that's making it bumpy in the places it was supposed to be freezed smoothly. So if you can recheck that when you play the piece again, just check your thumb. Is it making a bump or is it naturally going across? It sounds the same, And ending was really nice, and you slow down Ritornello. It's really nice. Like you really enjoyed it. Well done. Then Samuel. Oh, hi. Yeah, so your Beethoven, you were the most showing one today. So really lots of good work, and it's really difficult technically. I thought your speed and your opening was really nice, but again, Beethoven is all about characters. So I really wanted you to become one of the part of him when you play. Because today you were sort of like, you're in a new environment, and you're not really playing out of it. You're just be too concerned with the notes and not quite enjoying. Sometimes you were, but not all the time. Especially when the modulation happens and in the middle of the session, you can be more colorful. And in the chorus changing the whole time. Da 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 da. You see, every time when the layer goes up and down, you can do something different. One is more, fear when he's really angry. The other can be a bit more lonely, like upset. There's nothing can do, hopeless. Create the sound something like that with stories. You have to tell a story from the chord you play. and then the faster bit, left hand, right hand, all the octave, you were very tensed because you're not really comfortable with playing them fast. So I don't know how you practice. I would suggest to go slowly, and again using wrist, and a little bit higher wrist when you play the octave, you know? And then the double third as well, double third staccato crossing the jumping ones. You're just flat at the moment, which doesn't really create the crispiness. If you could sort of go up a little bit more with the wrist like that, that would be more helpful. And so your techniques that I would suggest the 3 areas to look at. One is the split octave, the one I mentioned, and then the semi-quiver running notes. Lots of running note there. They're not really clear, right? And I'm sure it's probably about nerves as well because the pianos are quite loud in this antique type. So, but when you play on the Steinway, you will probably find even lighter. So in order to control the grip from your finger to get the right rhythm, you have to work harder to go slowly at practicing. You know, go slowly da 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 like that to get the sound clear before you play faster. Then is the chord practicing, the sound projection. You know, on every chord. The sound at the moment is just down, but it's not really round. It's not full enough. So I feel it can be expanded more and more warm, and sometimes more strong and more bold. You just need contrast. Otherwise, well done. And then the Chinese piece, Mutong Duanli. Yeah, I thought you were really colorful. Yeah, really nice playing, especially in the recapitulation where it was like the new variation of the theme, right? It's very famous. I played it when I was 9. I still remember it today. Really nice. You've actually represented a really nice Chinese character today from that piece compared to what others have played. Very little things. I mean, I don't really know I can comment much on it because you've got the colors and the variety of changes in terms of the color and the speed. So you controlled it really well. Just your right hand can play out a little bit more. Sometimes I think you were too concerned about both balance, but then overall the da is still in the right hand, you know. So I think your right hand should sing out a little bit more. Sometimes your left hand boosted up a little bit when right hand comes down, which is really nice balance. But don't forget, right hand is always should be the most important one. So check where the voicing can be a bit more over, you know, when you need to be a bit more. And then the last one, Daijin. I didn't write anything because I thought it was a really enjoyable improvisation. It's very airy. I thought I could just enjoy a cup of tea there while listening to you, rather than writing any comments. So yes, I think I really enjoyed it overall, and everybody had their own really nice stuff in their playing. So I can see very clear all the training behind was really successful, and I'm very glad to be part of it today. So I've